Thank you everyone for coming. We're going to be doing a little bit of talking about mentoring here in our school. The first thing I want to start with is kind of getting ideas from you guys. What kind of M words come to mind when you think of youth? So some people might say like motivation or music. So I want to hear some feedback from you guys first. Yes. Yes. Kids do have a hard time with memory, so they struggle with remembering things, and I think there's things we put in place to kind of help them remember. Any other M words that might come to mind? I think I mentioned motivation, and someone raised their hand. Yes, kids often do lack motivation, and it's hard for them to kind of meet the academic requirements and the regular life stuff going on and still feel like a kid. So motivation is a good one. The one I want to focus on today is the M that most people forget, is mentoring. All kids need an opportunity to be mentored by a trusted adult. I have a brief PowerPoint I'm going to present, and we're going to go through some mentoring things and kind of what kids are at risk, the behaviors they have, and then some of the problems they have at school, and then some solutions we can plan for, things we already have in place, things we want to put into place. And then some feedback from other programs that have tried, other schools rather, that have tried mentoring programs and kind of what that looked like for them. So I'll have a brief PowerPoint. So this is my brother and my son. So my brother is in Florida. He currently does some mentoring with youth that are at risk there in Florida. Florida is known for some of its crime, some of the adolescents that are in juvenile hall and things like that. So my brother mentors there. And this was my son when he was very little. He was about 7 or 8. And he said, when he saw my brother at work, he said, when I see my uncle working as a manager in his restaurant, I feel proud that he is my uncle. I wanted to put that in there just so you guys see, like, we all mentor kids at some point in our lives, whether we know it or not. I just think we can make a more concrete way to do that instead of a program where kids can give us direct feedback about what they need from a mentor and how mentors can help them. Alright, so who can benefit from mentoring programs? So we already know that kids that are at risk, youth, can be any kid that suffers from things like poverty, low socioeconomic status, kids that have been already in trouble, kids that have been failing academically, kids that are at risk for pregnancy, kids that are at risk for other things to be exploited as far as prostitution. So it's important that we have programs here at the school that support an opportunity for kids to work with trusted adults and build relationships so they can learn those appropriate pro-social skills. And there are students that struggle with socializing, students that have minimal supports at home, students that have never had a trusted adult they can go to for support that gives them good advice. Then a lot of foster youth, a lot of them are also not having that linkage with community or an adult they can go to consistently and get support. And then any youth can really benefit from a positive relationship, just like the example I showed you with my brother and my son. So what are we doing already here at this school? So I got some of you guys' feedback before the meeting, and I talked to a couple of students that are in like groups and that meet after school and have different extracurricular activities. And what I gathered from them is things that we're doing that are working are some of the groups that we do have after school that are led by peers, increasing the parents' involvement. So when we do have extracurricular activities, ensuring parents are involved. Parents' involvement is a huge protective factor. So the more that we can keep kids engaged with the parent, the better outcomes we'll have trying to elicit other adults in the community to do mentoring programs here at our school. And then bringing guest speakers and alumni that have graduated. So we recently had the National College Sign-Up Day. So it would be great if we had an opportunity to bring those mentors, the ones that went from like our high school to college, and come back and talk to students about their path and how they got there successfully. It's good for kids and young and youth to hear how other adults and other youth have done it, so they can have a clear path, kind of how to start. And then I think anytime we can find a guest speaker that kids might look up to, so attorneys in the community, police officers, other teachers from different schools, anyone that's in a professional career is willing to come and give the youth something they can use tangible to kind of get questions on about how to pursue the career for them. So on this graph, it kind of shows like how does mentoring work. So it shows a way of how kids that aren't mentored have positive activities and kids that are mentored. And you can see the numbers are greater for the kids that had a mentor. So they The kids that had a mentor plan to enroll in college, 70%, 76% did. Only 50%, 56% of kids did not. The ones that regularly participated in sports and clubs had 67% of extracurricular activities compared to 37% of kids that didn't have a mentor. The same thing with leadership positions in the school, which we know is a huge factor in building pro-social skills. 51% of those kids that had mentors participated, but only 22% participated that did not have a mentor. And then also involving them in the community, so volunteering. So with the mentor, it's a lot easier because you have an adult to take you out to places so you know what places are appropriate to go and you can learn from. So 48% of those kids were volunteering in the community that had a mentor, compared to only 27% of kids that didn't have a mentor were not involved in the community, which also affects them getting into college because you need things on your resume, on your when you submit your application to ensure you're going to get into the college you want to get into. All right. So I asked the students, like, what are you guys, who do you look up to? Why do you look up to them? What do they mean to you? What careers and professions do you think are ones you would want to see here to even give you information? And I'll be passing those handouts out after the presentation. But what I took from it is most kids want to kind of know where to start. How did us as grown-ups older start off in a profession? How do we decide which way to go? Because there's so many options. And again, that's something teachers can also do, and counselors, just supporting kids in a way that they know how to get from high school to post-secondary with supports and what those supports would look like. So any program we had here could include some transitional support for kids going from a regular high school to either a junior college or a four-year college. And then there's other programs in the community as well. So to summarize, so obviously teachers have the most influence, so students they see the most often, they need to build a positive relationship with students. We need to introduce programs early. So middle school, we should be already having these talks to kids about who do you look up to, what kind of adult are you trusting, who are you building a relationship with, who do you look forward to meeting with, even here at the school. Increase the time they spend with teachers, which is difficult to do, but it's been shown the more time kids spend with that same teacher, the better their relationship is. It also enhances their engagement and participation in the class and gives them better outcomes for long-term success in school. And then modeling obviously from the top down. So not just us modeling as counselors, but the principal, other staff that work here, ensure they're always trying to build those welcoming attitudes with students. And then providing a large group of adults in the community that kids can reach out to for support and identifying ways they can do that outside of the classroom. Lastly, here's some resources. So we have the National Mentoring Partnership, the Director of Mentoring Programs in California, Big Brother and Big Sisters of America, which is the most popular, and then California Mentor. So again, any questions, just stay here with me afterwards and I'll be giving out some handouts, answering questions, and we will start meeting as far as when we want to start implementing some of these actions here at the school. Thank you.